The New York Times is one of the best-known news brands in the world, but like every other media organisation, including the BBC, it faces this revolution we're going through, and I think I was hired to help the Times think through what the next chapter in digital looks like, how to build digital revenues, how to develop the very successful pay model, which the digital's pay model, which the Times launched in 2011, and to ensure that we have a business model which in the long term can maintain the investment in the very high quality journalism which people want from the New York Times. We believe there's an opportunity to build that and to accelerate that by launching some new products. So next week we're going to begin with the first of those new products. NYT now have just shown it to the conference here, which is an express version of the New York Times, optimized for smartphone, though it's available on the web as well. And that will be a product which is available to subscribers for $8 for 4 weeks. So about half of the cheapest current digital subscription. So, you know, NYT now has got an editorial heart. It's a very lively, rather witty, and very fresh and original way of thinking about Times journalism. But it also, in practical terms, it's a way of exploiting rather more of the demand curve for paid products from the Times than we've exploited so far.
Is that another way of saying you've reached something of a ceiling with the main metered product?
No, I mean it's interesting. We had in the quarter 2. Quarter 3, quarter 4, 2013, we actually had more net additions in quarter 3 than quarter 2, more in quarter 4 than quarter 3. And although, as you'd expect, the rate of net additional subscribers quarter by quarter is not as fast as it was in the very first quarters of the new pay model, we're still seeing steady growth on the core. Moreover, because core subscribers also get access to these new products, we think the new products will have the effect of bolstering the core as well.
And you know, 2 core revenue streams, advertising is the other one. Yeah. But even in digital advertising, at last count, your digital advertising revenue fell. Why was that? Is that a product of the payment?
So in other words, did the pay model have the effect of squeezing the number of unique users, and therefore it's true, first of all, that the Times has had a year or so of small but nonetheless declines in digital ad revenue. I'm very clear that and have been since the day I arrived, that we have to get digital advertising back into growth as well. We launched our new native advertising digital ad product in January. We will be innovating elsewhere in digital advertising, and we are absolutely determined to get digital advertising back to growth. It's very important for us. We want to see all of our digital revenue streams growing.
What's a progress update on the native advertising launch?
Well, it's early days. What we said in the earnings call which took place at the beginning of February is we're encouraged by early demand from advertisers. We have a number of contracts already signed. We've already had a number of different players already up on the site, and we think it could build over time to be a significant revenue stream for us.
Can a well-trusted brand like the New York Times effectively toe the line and marry what is a combination of commercial imperative and content on the other hand?
Yes, I mean we're very clear, and I talked about this in my speech a few minutes ago. We're very clear on our values. We never want, in the context of native advertising, to leave a single reader confused about what is journalism from the New York Times and what is an advertising message. But we believe that the readers, both the current and potential future readers of the New York Times, want high quality journalism. That's why people come to the New York Times, and because they are a valuable, engaged audience, that we can come up with a successful, sustainable business model which will see top and bottom line growth into the future. We have a kind of broad range of inventory in terms of advertising. I mean, the highest value inventory for us is custom solutions, homepage takeovers, and things like native advertising, where you're delivering something which is, to a lesser or greater extent, bespoke and particular for an advertiser who wants to make a particular impression. But we continue to have, in common with all publishers, more, if you like, routine banner advertising, which is increasingly being sold machine to machine, so-called programmatic buying and selling, where data is king. And we want to make sure that, although the greatest focus on growth is going to be for high value-added advertising, we want to make sure that in the programmatic area that we are competing and using that to our advantage as well. So that is an area, and ad tech and making sure that we have the right technology supporting digital advertising. These are also focuses of attention for us.
And so you embarked on the programmatic journey last year, I think.
Well, we've been looking at programmatic for some time, but yes, we've spent about I guess around a year. It's been a heightened focus, but it's going to continue through 2014 and into 2015 to be a very important focus for us.
What about video? So we know that you've already declared that the New York Times wants to make more video. Advertisers are keen for that. How do you scale up the video production to meet advertisers' demand?
Some of this is about simply making sure we have enough relevant news video on a sufficient number of news stories, and we are engaged in trying to do that right now. We're also trying to build out some of our series. We have a position, for example, in terms of food video. Stars like Mark Bittman and Melissa Clark, building that out. Continuing to support the documentaries, so-called op-docs, which are commissioned by the editorial part of the paper, and again looking quite hard at the stack of technology which supports video advertising. And we've been encouraged. We significantly increased the number of video impressions in 2013, and we greatly increased the amount of revenue from video advertising, even though, it must be said, that's from a very small base. And I expect further growth in 2014, and again, we want to build this into a sizable revenue stream for the company.
And lastly, on the content side, a while ago the New York Times developed the Snowfall story idea, very creative, engaging story presentation, more so than template-driven web-based stories. Took a while and was relatively expensive. Assuming that is a good, engaging format for the medium,
we're doing many more of these kinds of multimedia exercise, and across a broad front, and you will definitely see more of that from the Times. We want to. One of the ways in which we want to change the story about the Times and to compete effectively with our new competitors in the digital space is through innovation in areas like digital advertising, but also innovation of content. And we think the opportunities to innovate around very rich media content are great for us.